This is Miss Cat, and today we're going to be talking about how to create pickups for our player. And so, if you haven't already done this, I had this in the health video, but we'll go over again how to create a canvas. So, a canvas is where our UI goes, our user interface, our HUD, our heads up display for our player, right? This is where we see all of these hearts right here. So, if you haven't done that already, I'm going to show you quickly how to do it. So, it's called Canvas. We're going to right click, hit create UI, then go down to canvas. And so a canvas holds everything. I'm not going to click on it because I already have one in here, but a canvas holds everything that our heads up display is going to see, right? Also, make sure that whenever you make your canvas, your screen space overlay is clicked. So it's on render mode, screen space overlay. And then down here, where the canvas scaler, UI scaler mode, we want to make sure that says scale with screen size. We don't scale with pixels because if we have different sizes there, it's not going to quite scale correctly. But if we do scale with screen size, no matter what size my screen goes, you can see that my little heads up display sizes with it, which is really nice. So what we're going to do to start off is let's go ahead and throw in some pickups. So I'm just going to get into my level real quick. If you press F when you've clicked on anything in here, it'll automatically focus on it. So remember, F is for focus. And I just did that so I could get back into my level real quick. So the first thing I'm going to do is I have some sprites in here under my white box. So I'm going to use a pickup. I'm going to put a screw as my pickup. It's just something I'd created for a Gumball little game I made for class. And so I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to grab a screw and throw it in here. And it's huge. I know it's big. I'm going to size it down till I think it's about the right size. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's okay. I'm going to just put this in here. And then this at the moment doesn't have anything on it, so no matter what, I couldn't be able to touch it really. It's just something that would sit there in the background. So first off, I'm going to come over here to add component. I'm going to add a box collider so that I have something for my character to collide with. And also for pickups, they're going to work kind of similar to hazards in the way I want to use a trigger. So I want to make sure that under my box collider, I click is trigger. And with that, I'm also going to go up to tag. I'm going to go add tag. Remember how we add tags to all of our stuff? I'm going to add a tag and I'm going to call this a pickup. And so this is kind of going to work very similar to health in the way that I pick this up. So I'm going to go back to my screw, and where it says untagged, I'm going to go, or tag right here where it says untagged, I'm going to go to pickup. And before I get into how to actually create the pickup for this and everything else, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how to create a prefab. So prefabs are used for objects and everything that you'll use for multiple scenes. So my player, I would eventually make into a prefab. And what a prefab is if I grab this screw and I pull it into here, it turns this little box to blue. What it does is every time I put a new screw in here, it's going to have the same exact properties, right? So I've already got a box collider on there. It's already got a trigger. If I had scripts on this screw, it would also have the scripts. The tag is on there. Everything that I would possibly have on any game object would already be in there. You can also use this for your canvas, right? So after you get your whole HUD set up with all your health, if you want a timer on there, pickups, so where you can see them on the screen, you can do all of that, so that way when you pull it up there, it's just reconnecting a few simple things, but all of your scripts are already set up there. It's got to reconnect, what goes what to what, which is really nice. So prefabs, we haven't really touched on those too much. We'll touch on them a little bit more as time goes on, but just know they're there, and we're going to use them today to help us quickly make some pickups. So I'm going to go ahead and set a pickup up there just so that my character has to jump to get it. So now I've got screw 1, screw 2, and then like my third screw up there. And so these are going to be what my character is picking up. Now let's talk about what we need to do for our canvas. And this is where it's going to work very similar to and I just pressed F again once I clicked on canvas to focus. It's going to work very similar to the way we did health. So I'm going to right click. I'm going to do UI. And I'm going to scroll to, I always can't find an image. There we go. I'm going to scroll to image, and then I've already created, let me go back to the beginning here. I've already created a sprite and separated it up so where I've got these in different sections. So the first thing I'm going to do is going to throw, actually I need to click on this image, and right here where it says source image, I'm going to throw that in there. So now it has a source image. It's kind of hard to see. Right here, it's not perfect. I just quickly made this for the gumball game as something to add in eventually. So it's kind of just my white boxing right here. And so as you can see, I don't have anything in these yet. They are blank because I'm going to have, as I pick things up, they're going to keep adding to it. So I've set this kind of up here, sized it how I wanted. I've added these in here. So now let's get into coding. So I'm going to go to assets, scripts. I'm going to right click and do create C# script, and I call this pickups. Once again, remember you can name these whatever you want. Just make sure there's no spaces, and make sure later on when you go back to look at them, you understand what they are. So for pickups, let's go through some code that we're going to need. So as we talked about with the health, the first thing we need to do is we need to add using Unity engine.ui. And so what this does is it allows us to kind of grab the names that would be used under Canvas. So like an image is something that is part of the UI, a slider, a menu, any of that type of, or a button really, there's not exactly a menu, but a button would be considered part of UI. And so this script right here allows us to actually have access to all of that. So after I do that, the next thing I want to do is I'm going to go to public, if I can spell, public int pickups. And I'm going to set this equal to 0. And so that means at this moment I haven't picked up anything. And then I'm just going to make a comment that says HUD display pickup. So that way when I come back in here and I'm like, what is this for? I always know, oh yeah, that's right. That's for the actual heads-up display of what I see on the screen for my pickups. And so I'm going to do public sprite. I'm going to add in brackets. And so what these brackets do is it creates an array. And so we kind of talked about this last time, but an array has so many slots, and we determine how many slots that is. But I'm going to say, so we're going to have an array, and I'm going to call this pickup sprite. So pickup sprites. So this array is going to allow me to pick up the different sprites that I have. And I'll go into that after I get this once again done. Public image pickup UI. So public image pickup UI. And so I'm going to use this, and this is actually going to be where we want things to be seen on the screen, or what is that image that we're changing out. And so I don't need anything under void start here. The only thing I need to do is I need to come under, oh, I don't even need void update. If you want, you don't always have to keep these in there. You can just delete it. I just force of habit, don't get rid of them. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go in here and put void on trigger enter 2D, because we're working in 2D, right? So on trigger enter 2D, if collision dot game object dot tag equals, oh, and let's double check our tag on those so that way I can get it exactly right. So it's pickup, spelled exactly like that. So I'm going to come in here and say our tag is pick up. Remember, uppercase matters. If it's got uppercase or lowercase, that does matter. And so I'm going to say if collision.gameObject tag, oh, I forgot an equal sign, so equal, remember. If is always equal. It's got to be exact. So if it goes into there, I'm going to say pickups plus plus, and remember plus plus adds 1 to the number, and then I'm going to say, and this is where it's kind of a little different, and so, well, it's actually going to be the same for this one. I'm going to say pickup UI dot sprite equals pickup sprite, and then I'm going to do those brackets for an array. Instead, I'm going to say pickups, right? So that pickups is the integer. Pickup sprite is the sprite that I'm going to find within the integer, and then over here is which sprite my UI will display. So it's kind of saying you're going to go into your UI box to look for a sprite, and there you have all of these different sprites, and you kind of have to find the right one. So it's like a box within a box within a box. And so after I find my sprite, I don't want to accidentally run into that same game object, right? And then keep adding pickups from that same one. I want that game object to go away. And an easy way to do that is to just say destroy collision dot game object. And what this does is it destroys the object that your player is colliding with. So I'm going to eventually put pickups on my player. So anything that's got the tag pickup that I collide with, it's going to destroy that game object so that I don't do it again. So I'm going to click Command S to save. I'm going to come into my pickups. I'm going to attach it. Oh, give it a second. Okay. I'm going to attach this to my player. Did it do it? Nope. Let's try again. There we go. Now it's attached to my player. And with pickup UI, I'm actually going to rename this image real quick so that it says pickup UI, just so that whenever I'm going through and having to reattach things over and over, I kind of know exactly what everything is. I'm just going to copy and paste that right there. So now I've got pickup UI. I'm going to go back. Oh no, I want to be right here. So I'm going to go up to my pickups, and I know I have 4 overall, but I start off with 0, right? Or 3 pickups overall, but I start off at 0. So my pickup number in total is going to be 4 because I need that many. Oh, no, but my pickups is going to be 0. My pickup sprites is going to be 4. Sorry. And so what that does is it makes 4 little elements right here. So if I go back into my sprites, go into white box, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for my empty ones. Instead of doing the hearts where it was full and going to empty, I'm going to find my empty ones. I'm going to put that in sprite 0, or element 0. Go to the next one, element 2. Next one, element 2 there, and then element 3 because it starts at 0. And so now this should work, and we're going to test it real quick. It should work to where if I run into these objects, there you go. My item is destroyed, right? My item is automatically destroyed. It's added up here to my system, and then I keep going. So now I've hit 3. I only have 3 in this level, so it works perfectly. If I had another one, it's going to give me a little bit of a problem because it's outside of the array size, but it's not because I'm still within there. So this is a really simple pickup. You can also, use the number of how many pickups you have to do something else in your game. But this is just really quickly how to record it and how to show it on your screen. So that's it for this lesson. I know it's super simple. I don't mean these to, really make it crazy. If you have any more questions or if you're looking for something a little bit more specific, please ask me in class, and for anyone who randomly finds this video, you can leave a comment and I can try and help you to the best of my ability. All right, guys, have a great night or day, and I will see you in class.